Welcome back to Takeout. As we've been discussing, Charlie Kirk's motivation in politics was to bring young people into the dialogue and to become more politically active than they otherwise would be. And he did that through an organization called Turning Point USA, a group he founded while a college student in 2012. As you might have heard, Charlie never finished college, but that group he founded now has more than 800 chapters on college campuses and more than 1,000 high school groups. When Charlie Kirk was fatally shot at Utah Valley University, he was engaged in one of his, quote, prove me wrong, unquote, debates in which he invites others in the audience to challenge his point of view in a face-to-face format. Here is but one example of how that played out.
You don't have a right to murder another human being.
It's not necessarily a right. It's just the ability to be.
So when your brother was in your mom's womb, was your brother a human being?
I mean, I don't want to argue that. I think that we could argue about that
it's not an argument, it's a question. When your brother was in,
useful.
When your brother was in the womb, was it a human being?
I believe that on my moral compass, I believe that he was.
Joining me now, Dillon Burns, Stella Ross, and Christian Martin. Dillon is president of the Indiana University's Republican Club. Stella is a member of that club. They are on the Zoom together. Christian is the vice president of the University of Alabama's Democratic Club. He's in his own Zoom box. And I have been assured by Dillon and Stella they will not gang up on Christian in our conversation. Want to clear that up at the top. Dillon, I want to start with you. What did Charlie Kirk mean to you politically, personally?
Absolutely. Charlie wasn't just a leader to me. He was somebody who impacted the lives of countless individuals and inspired an entire generation of young conservatives like myself and Stella that are really trying to work to advance the movement of young conservatives and bring his message to the masses. And I want to say that our hearts and our sorrows are with Charlie and his family during this time as we all grieve together.
Stella, as you know, there are lots of voices out there. What made Charlie special and important to you?
Charlie was doing things that other Republicans weren't. He was going on to college campuses and he was engaging with our generation specifically. And he's what really moved the vote in the 2024 election. And we saw that from the polling data. Charlie came on to college campuses and he had civil discourse with us as students and inspired a generation to get out, and speak our minds.
Christian, I want to turn to you. You went to a Charlie Kirk event. Tell me what your reflections were on that event and your thoughts today.
Well, I have to say, I could see the effectiveness of Mr. Kirk. This was when I was a senior in high school. He came to the university because I'm from Northport, Alabama, which is a suburb of Tuscaloosa where we're located. But I could see where Mr. Kirk was really doing a great job of drawing people in, especially young men that might be politically disaffiliated, and how he was very engaging, especially in this modern digital age. I mean, I have profound disagreements with the man, obviously on policy, amongst other things. We could say theology as a fellow Christian, but at the end of the day, he was very skilled at what he did, very convincing, especially in like short form format. And at the end of the day, this is just heartbreaking. You know, there's a woman widowed. There are two small children that saw their father die in front of their eyes. And to quote State Representative, but a candidate for the United States Senate, Mr. James Tallarico of Texas, you know, we might have policy disagreements, but there's a child of God that has passed away in front of our eyes, sort of to paraphrase him, but it's really a heartbreaking event in my heart and the hearts of everyone at UA's college Democrats, and I'm sure really the vast majority of everyone across the political spectrum, across this nation and this great republic of ours, really mourn for Mr. Kirk.
Christian, you're involved in conversations among your friends. And for those friends who heard something from Charlie Kirk, what do you think they heard, and what do you think other Democrats ought to take away from his persuasiveness?
Well, first off, I think we can take away kind of the way we need to engage with young people, because a lot of times I think certain Democrats almost have like without meaning to almost like a tendency to over intellectualize and kind of preach at instead of talk to people. And I think we can take a lot of that from Mr. Kirk. Also, a lot of my friends on the right, especially like I know fraternity brothers that really engaged with him, just like found him very persuasive in the fact that he kind of almost tried to entertain alongside like persuade, and he was very good at that. He was very good at using kind of emotion to connect with like his viewers and all. So yeah,
Dillon and Stella, I want to
think we
throw
can
that
take-
question to you now. What in your circles did Charlie Kirk represent, mean, and what was his particular persuasive power?
I think that's a great question. And kind of to touch on what Christian said, the fact that Christian had said that Republicans and Charlie Kirk, he's talking to, I would actually argue that that's what the Democrats were doing. The Democrats were talking to voters. Liberals were talking to voters, telling them what they think they should be hearing. Charlie Kirk, in my opinion, didn't talk to voters. He connected with voters, connected with young individuals like ourselves. And I think that that is what helped him build the base and build the foundation that obviously put him in Turning Point in the spotlight that it was. And because he was connecting with voters, that's why he was so effective. That's why he was able to get on campuses across the country and draw out thousands of supporters across campuses and get them engaged and get them involved in politics.
Yeah,
Stella,
that
if you were to try to explain that difference between to and with in communication, how would you break that down?
He stepped foot on college campuses when other people wouldn't, and he had open dialogue with us as students. And he took each conversation to heart, and he sat there for hours with each student and debated them on their views, heard them out, heard the other side, and he was able to really form that connection with us, which helped form his movement and helped inspire us as young voters.
Stella and Dillon, this is not an easy question to answer. How are you going to carry this forward? What does this awful event mean to you personally in terms of your continued involvement?
I think it's something that we're all still processing, to be completely honest. Seeing somebody so youthful and vigorous taken from us way too soon, a father and a husband, it is unspeakable. And it's the mission of individuals like Stella and myself and conservatives and Republicans across campuses all across this country to realize that while Charlie's voice might have been silenced, this is only a moment for us to be empowered and for us to use our own voice to speak out and support Charlie and his movement.
And having our club on campus allows conservative students here to have a voice and find a place where they can connect with people who share the same values and beliefs as them. And we can help give them a support system. We're all hurting right now, and we extend all of our condolences to Erica and to the Kirk family. I cannot imagine losing a father and losing my husband.
Christian, I want to give you the last word. That's not an easy thing to put on your shoulders, but I want you to either speak to Dillon and Stella or to my audience about what's on your heart.
Yeah, well, first off, I just want to apologize for any misinterpretation. I was saying talking to in kind of like the meaning of connecting with as opposed to like talking at. But beside the point, I just want to say to anyone hurting out there, Republican, Democrat, friend of Charlie Kirk, just bystander that's been kind of traumatized by seeing this event, to the first responders, to the medical personnel, to Mr. Kirk's children, to Mr. Kirk's widow, that I'm praying for you. I've been praying for y'all. I've prayed rosaries, Hail Marys for y'all. My heart goes out to y'all, and my heart grieves for y'all and for this republic, because just like with the Minnesota violence we saw against the Democrats in the state legislature there, this country has no room for violence. And that's how you get with political violence. That's how our republic degenerates into the Weimar Republic or into the fall of the Roman Republic. And so it's heartbreaking and heart-wrenching to watch. And so I just
Christian.
ask everyone to, if you're a praying person, pray. If not, just think about our republic and try to work to engage in dialogue across the aisle in a respectful manner.
Christian Martin. Dillon Burns, Stella Ross, thank you very much for your time.